This video is the final episode in our first chapter of fundraising, purchasing, and delivering medical supplies from the USA to a children's hospital in Ukraine. In our last video, our boxes were anxiously awaiting to find out where they would be sent in Ukraine. Patrir, the humanitarian NGO that I'm volunteering for, only sends medical supplies to hospitals to make sure that they're always in the hands of professionals who recognize their value and how to care for these supplies. They are also routinely in contact with the medical directors at 17 hospitals throughout Ukraine to make sure they're sending the right supplies to the right hospitals. In the case of our boxes, Akhmedit Children's Hospital was identified as the best location to send our supplies. Because Akhmedit Hospital was located in Kyiv, and this was further than I was prepared to travel into a country at war, Patrir was going to arrange for a professional delivery of the boxes. However, if you remember in our previous video, Alinka was already planning to travel to Kyiv to do verification and validation of food that had been given to Valentin that was going to shelters around Kyiv. I immediately called Alinka to see if she would be willing to deliver our boxes to the Akhmedit Hospital, and she was very happy to take on this mission. Hey everyone, in the last video I told you that we had a very special home for our boxes. And you remember Alinka from the last video?
Hi there!
She is the brave person who's going to take our boxes all the way to the Children's Hospital in Kyiv. She was going to be taking food. She's doing so much for the humanitarian effort since the very first days of the war. She was up at the border helping women and children coming across the border. She has a heart of gold, and she's very brave. You just go in and just do stuff. It's so great.
It's a fire in the soul, actually. So I don't know if it's bravery or not, but it's a passion for people.
So you secured a vehicle and a driver, and
yes, a driver, and I have 2 more colleagues with me.
She arranged all of the logistics because if you think about it, you have to plan everything, where you're going to get fuel, where your driver's going to sleep. You know, all of those things have to be planned out, and she was planning all of these. The other day, Alinka and I were here, and we looked through the boxes so she had a sense of what those things were. We have to put all of these boxes in the van.
Well, seems like that should be closed.
Thank you so much. I was so happy when you agreed to take these boxes because I've really kind of grown emotionally attached to these boxes, both for myself and for the donors, because everyone, they really felt strongly that they wanted to see the money that they donated go to something good.
I totally agree with you.
And there's things that will be very useful in the hospital.
I'm also coming in. Are you getting into the car now? Yes, of course. I'll be back here.
How are you?
Good, very good. Please.
I'm glad you're safe and sound.
I am.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures that you sent, and wow.
Yeah, I would explain. It was a very intensive experience. Hard, but somehow it was very. It's very hard to explain in words. Although your soul is broken in a way, because you see some stuff, you understand some situations from there, you get in touch with the people, you feel them in your heart and your soul. You are happy that you were able to help them, even little. And it's amazing, actually. It's very hard to put these feelings in words because it's our opposites. Somehow you are very tired, exhausted, upset, angry, frustrated because it's not okay what's happening. It's really not okay. But in the opposite, somehow you are happy that you see that you bring joy to that people, to a smile, put a smile on their faces.
It's such a weighty feeling, but you have saved lives just by this trip, delivering medical supplies. Like, everyone who donated is saving lives, and I think it's hard for us as humans to really take that in, like to take the power of that in.
Yes.
And so I feel like that many people, they feel like helpless. They feel like, oh, there's nothing I can do to affect it. But there is so much. There's so much you can do by just taking steps.
Exactly.
So maybe we start with like the medical supplies, because I know everyone is like wondering like what's happening with the medical supplies, and the doctor that you delivered him to, and what he said.
Yes, of course. I will start with the road part. What I want to say here is that the road was very hard. If anyone will go from Cluj to Kyiv, you have to know that it's really exhausting to drive all the way. So
the road was hard because it was potholed, or
yes, and it was long and it was destroyed. And some parts is destroyed. You have to go slower. You have to pay attention because you don't want to destroy the car. It's the martial law there, and everything is closed after 10 p.m. You are not allowed to be on the road. So we a little pushed to get closer to Kyiv, but we had to stop. And we had, 3 hours to rest. This was the hospital.
So I heard Okmadit, which I understood was, traditionally it was a children's hospital, but now it's serving everyone.
Exactly.
It has the equipment, so, I mean, their needs are so great.
Exactly. We took this machine to be easier to load the packages, and here I was with the doctor and explained to him, okay, these are the papers, look, this is the inventory, these are the meds, it's important you to know what is in the packages. He was actually so pleased and so happy, because when he looked over the inventory, he was like, nice. So yeah, he was really grateful. And
oh, that's great. We decided what would be brought is Patrir is constantly communicating with all of the different hospitals in Ukraine, and they're creating a spreadsheet of the greatest needs. They have some things that they're having trouble finding, but we focused on the things that they needed the most. Now, once we got here, Patrir made a needs assessment again, a more up-to-date needs assessment, to say, okay, these boxes need to go to Okmadit hospital. And as you know, I was like, wait a minute, that's in Kyiv. Alinka's going to Kyiv. I was like, then I called you up and said, please.
And we were so happy that you called me, because we actually focused, really focused to, okay guys, we have to deliver this. It's the most priority of all. We have to deliver the medicines because are very important. So here are the meds inside. We made a small picture with them. And here are the packages. We got there and we ask for some contact, because it's very important to keep in touch with them and not to lose the connection. We will have to understand that these doctors are very busy.
Oh yeah.
Are very, the people that are needing help and to be treated. They are constantly on work and they do a very good work, but they are busy. They are hard to catch, and this is why actually I wanted to go to the emergency department to somehow to see the doctor and say to him, hey, please, can you give me your number, because I have to be Patrir and all the.
And meanwhile, they're up to their elbows in terrible work, and I can see how that could be very complicated.
What I want to transmit here is that it's very important not to stop. This situation is very hard, and we are in this together. It's important, the people and volunteers and all the people that are going in the field, but on the other side are the people who donate, who support, who give help. So we cannot do this if only one part is working.
Yeah.
No.
We can't all come and do what you did, but I feel like as citizens of the planet, of our shared humanity, everyone needs to do something.
Exactly.
If you can donate. If you can share, the news of this and encourage other people to donate, you can use your voice
Exactly.
and speak out about it. You can do art and to raise awareness about this. I just feel like that we cannot be apathetic about this. I encourage everyone to find the way that works for you to help, to get it to stop. Thank you so much, Alinka.
Thank you, Darren.
Hey everyone, I'm back in California and I'm still digesting and processing everything that I experienced in Ukraine and Romania. A lot of this is really hard to put into words, but fortunately I did take a lot of footage while I was there. I made another trip to Ukraine and I hope to put that into another video. I visited the children's orphanage, so stay tuned for those videos. I'm also going to be doing some real short videos. If you see a link to Alinka's visit to deliver food to villages just north of Kyiv, I'll put that video in there as well. I also wanted to give you a fundraising update. So far we've raised $23,000 of our $30,000 goal, and we just wired $8,500 to Patrier, and I wanted to get your feedback on how that money should be used. If you remember in the original fundraising, we talked about medical supplies, but we also said that it could go towards an ambulance fund there. Well, what we're finding is that the $80,000 ambulances, the big red shiny kind, are being targeted. So there are groups there that are converting used SUVs into ambulances. They're putting in the vacuum systems, oxygen, electrical systems, and this is substantially less expensive than the big $80,000 ambulance, and they can be a little bit more stealthy. So my question to you is that should we use the money for medical supplies as we originally said, or should we start getting ambulances to communities in Ukraine so they can start taking people to the hospital as needed? So you can just leave a comment down on this video, or if you have my email because you're on the donors email list, you can send me an email directly. But I really appreciate your feedback about this. Thanks again for all of your support, for donating, for sharing. But hopefully these videos show you that the needs in Ukraine are ongoing, and we need to continue to support them any way that we can, because I really believe that this is a turning point in our history. So thank you for not being indifferent, and thank you for your support, and thanks for watching. Till next time.